background. Just check once we come up. All right, here we go. The late night happy hour. Special guest tonight, the legend, Dave Cokin, and Allie is back. Plus Money Honey, she is back. She had a great debut at the end of the week last week, so we got some really good stuff to get to. I got to be honest. And I know Dave's like day-to-day sports guy and getting ready, for the season. And David just hit me a couple of minutes ago. I was chilling after work, and I'm like, we're going to get an avalanche here of freaking sports. I was like, because I was talking to my girlfriend, and she's a big Lakers fan. The Yankees open basically at the same time as the Lakers. I'm like, oh, my God. Like, it's so weird. Like, I got so used to not having anything, and all of a sudden we're going to have a ton of games. Woo!
Yeah, I'm going to have to be careful about allocating my time because for the last 2 months or so, I've been watching KBO in the middle of the night. I think that's going to fall by the wayside. I'll still do the league, but I'm not going to be watching those games. So I decided that I'm going to focus on Major League Baseball, the PGA, which has been pretty good for me, and the NHL. And I probably won't do any NBA because basically it's my least favorite sport, and I also kind of suck at it.
So for you, Allie, you were getting into the whole gambling game with your picks and parlay show, which I want you to promote here in a minute. Right. But you guys were humming along. You're going towards the college basketball postseason, and all of a sudden the plug gets pulled. No freaking games for 4 months, and now we're going to just get a deluge of games day to day. And the other thing is, it's all times a day. I mean, hockey in another week is going to be starting early morning. We're going to get basketball all day, baseball blowing us out. This is freaking great.
Oh, it's insane. I've been cramming for all 4 major sports at one time. My life is surrounded by index cards, like every team and players and rosters. And that's how I do my work. But my hand is so tired from writing to catch up. If I could handicap Datelines, I'd be in business right now because I've watched 4 months of Dateline. Okay.
Allie, what'd you think? Dave's been doing this a long time. I'm no pro gambler, but I want your take on what do you think of what Dave said with he's going to try to specialize and there's just certain sports with them all going on at one time where he's like, I just can't do it.
Well, honestly, I only seriously bet baseball and college basketball. Those are where I make my money. The rest of it is just I don't really care for hockey. I love college football, but I'm not super knowledgeable about it. My boyfriend is, so I kind of go off of what he's doing. So I really am focusing on baseball and NBA right now since I don't have college, and that's the basketball that's going around. So luckily for me on Picks and Parlays, I host the show. I don't have to give out picks for everything. So I have that going for me.
I'm going to throw a wild card at you guys because we're going to do a lot of gambling talk tonight, and we'll take questions from the audience. Who's in tonight making some comments? Mark is back. Good evening, all. LV Pickle Gamer already making sure that I mentioned meetupvegas.com. We'll get into that one, Mark, about the NBA. It's going to have a lot of variance to begin. Yeah, what do you think, Dave? NBA.
I'm not so sure. My sense is that the really good teams are not going to be taking nights off, which you'll see them do in typical regular seasons. I mean, I'm looking at baseball, and it's 60 games. The Yankees are not going to take days off in a 60-game schedule. Yeah. So I have a tendency to think that the really good teams are just going to annihilate the opposition on a regular basis. Well, I think they're going to be there every day.
I wanted to ask you about that, Dave, as far as baseball goes. I hear a lot of talk that the younger teams are going to have a real advantage. And then I have another source that's saying it's all veteran pitchers. So do you think maybe both of them? I think kind of both of them have a great advantage, but do you lean one way or another?
Well, I mean, time will tell, but I have a tendency to favor the veterans.
Yeah.
They're just, the maturity factor is going to weigh into this. And I think they're going to be able to focus a little more than some of the younger guys. Right. But I know a lot of people have been talking dark horses, who's going to pull the upsets. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of upsets. I think you're going to see the cream rising to the top right away. I mean, I hate it because I'm a Red Sox fan and I detest the Yankees, but I don't know how. I don't know how they don't win 40 of the 60 games. They are just absolutely loaded.
The Red Sox?
No, the Yankees.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
No, the Red Sox.
The Red Sox will be. I think they'll be lucky if they win 33 of them.
Oh, I don't think they're going to be a winning team.
Yeah, no, it was Sale and his Tommy John, and they got rid of Mookie, and it's bad news. Didn't Martinez has COVID now? Eduardo Martinez has COVID. Something. It's not looking good.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to Nathan Eovaldi as their opening day starter. So
I like Eovaldi a lot, but
I like him too, but he wasn't very good last year, and his arm usually falls off after about 3 weeks. So they've got troubles.
So he'll be all right in a shortened season.
The break they catch is that Toronto, which I think Toronto is probably better than the Red Sox this year, but I don't know how well this is going to work with them being stuck in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, my sources said Pittsburgh 3, Red Sox 4 in that division.
I can see that. I don't think the Red Sox care this year. The Red Sox just want to get through this and try and get something done in the offseason.
I'm sorry, not Pittsburgh 3, Blue Jays, Toronto 3, Red Sox 4. That's what it was.
I think they're now the Toronto Berg Pirates.
I don't think that's the worst thing.
No, it'd be nice for Pittsburgh fans to see a team that has a lot of prospects and I don't. It's not for Pittsburgh fans because they're not going to get to go to the games anyway. Yeah. So that was kind of a stupid statement. By the way, saw the most unrealistic thing, and I kind of stole this from Tim Dahlberg, but the cardboard cutouts. If they're going to make them real at the Dodger game, you can't put the cardboard cutouts in place until the 3rd inning, and they have to leave in the 7th inning.
I think that's fantastic.
Dave, let me follow.
Go ahead. Well, no. I like that my friend's a season ticket holder for the Seattle Mariners, and they get to, send in their own photo and get their own cardboard cutout made. And I have a Houston Texans friend and that Mariners friend, and they were saying that a teammate of their watching group passed away, but this is like their last year that they'll get a chance to watch that game with them because they're all making the cardboard cutout. So I think it's a cool idea. You can still see yourself in the stands. It's not the worst thing ever.
I like it better than the fake crowd noise.
Yeah, the fake crowd noise is annoying.
Well, and it's also, I was watching the Royals-Astros game today, and the Royals scored a run in the 9th inning to make it 15-5 at the time. And the fake crowd was going wild because it was a Royals home game. It's like it's 15-5. If there's 10,000 real fans still in the seats, they're not going wild. So the cardboard cutout engineers, the fake noise engineers have to do a better job of understanding what's going on in the game.
Did I hear correctly that the Royals hit Springer, Altuve, and Bregman?
Well, I know they hit 2, but I watched the game. They weren't intentional. They were just pitches that got away.
Well, I was wondering. Yeah, I'm from Houston. I'm an Astros fan. So, is this what we have to expect all season long? Are we just going to be getting drilled all season long?
I don't know. I think there's going to be some retribution, but I don't think it's going to be as much as people thought it was likely to be.
You think the time off cooled everyone down?
Yeah.
Well, there's more, but we all realize there's more important things out there, right?
Yeah, and I think not having fans probably has something to do with it. I mean,
right?
if the fans were there, they're going to be booing like crazy in every Astros road game, and I think the players might get into it more. But I just don't see where it's going to have the same impact in an empty stadium. So I think they're probably not going to absorb as many fastballs to the ribs as you might have seen.
All right.
I'm going to say in response to there's more important things out there. There are, but if I'm playing baseball, I'm still going to be a callous dick and ignore all that stuff. And I am hitting the Astros, and I'm hitting them a lot. And if I were a manager, I'm destroying them. And Dave, don't you have a little advantage with the rosters this season where you can piss away a couple of pitchers to send a message?
Yeah. bad teams might do it more than the good teams because the good teams don't want to lose they don't want to lose to the Astros. But if you're on the Detroit Tigers, what the hell?
Right? Exactly.
Well, they won't be playing them, actually, so that was a bad call. If you're the Seattle Mariners, because they'll be playing them, they're in the same division, or the Rockies, or the Giants. The Giants may as well just throw at everybody because they're going to lose a lot of games. Man, they're a bad-looking team.
So, Allie, I got to take the audience back to when Dave and I did a show, and I'm sure a lot of the people watching now remember Dave and I did a show up until I don't know, what was it, 2011 or 2012, something like that. And Peter popped in and said, Cofield and company back together. Your Red Sox take, Dave, is such a flashback. We the 4 or 5 years we did a show, I was always higher on the Red Sox than you. Like I had a moment where I remember arguing with you, and we were at Cashman Field, and you weren't liking what you were seeing from Big Papi early in the season, and you're like, I think he's done. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then
he had that wrong.
He was like he had one of the greatest 40, age 40 plus years ever. But my point was not to like go, hey, you're wrong on, David Ortiz and whatever year. I'm always higher on the Red Sox than you are. Right. I always am. And I look at this roster. When I look at the roster, I want to ask you this, because I think they're going to rake. I think they're going to hit the hell out of the ball.
They'll hit.
What exactly is the goal of the organization with this pitching staff? What were they thinking? And Allie mentioned Rodriguez is now down for a while with COVID, and they got a bad break in Sale. But I mean, some of the other names are like, that's not the Red Sox. What were they doing?
Well, they traded away. This is Dombrowski, Dave Dombrowski, and I'm not complaining about him because they won a World Series, and that's a good thing. But he strips organizations. And the Red Sox, who had a really deep system when he arrived, basically have nobody, and they traded away some of the guys who were supposed to be their better arms. The irony is, a lot of those guys aren't working out. So Dombrowski's stripping of the organization, as far as the pitchers goes, actually is kind of working out because the guys who were supposed to be good are not materializing at this point. I can't think of the guy's name. It's Hernandez, I think, who went in the San Diego deal. He doesn't look like he's going to be a big leaguer. Cofield, and what the White Sox is taking this year off, and he's got some problems above the shoulders. And these were the real hot prospects. So looks like Dombrowski might have gotten lucky, or maybe he wasn't as high on these prospects as the scouting world was. And now the Red Sox are rebuilding the organization. They're going to be fine in a couple of years, but I think the next couple of years could be a little bit difficult.
And you don't have them hitting well enough to go 500. I mean, this lineup is ridiculous.
I think they're going to hit, but the staff it could be really bad. This could be one of the weakest staffs in baseball.
Did they make the right move with Betts, not making the long-term investment?
Yeah, because you can't sign them all. And I think they decided that Bogarts and Devers are guys they really want long-term, gives them a great left side of the infield. And Mookie was going to cost them, $350 million? You can't keep them all. So Mookie's the oldest of the bunch. He's not that he's ancient by any means, but you really don't want to give those super long-term contracts to guys that are 29 or 30 because then you're ending up with them when they're 36 and 37. And they just don't produce at that point. So I actually think the Red Sox did a really smart thing in focusing on the younger guys who can be there for the next 10 years through their peak.
Right. Nothing wrong with a good rebuilding year, man.
I don't like the Red Sox ever rebuilding. I think they could have beefed up the pitching staff. I have no problem. I've come around more and more on the long-term contracts. I'm not sure. Listen, I want guys to make money, but I'm not sure that, Machado, Harper, Betts when he gets his long-term deal. I don't know how smart it is to invest $25 to $40 million in a player, especially now since it seems like you got 20% of the league constantly rebuilding and not spending money, and there's this middle class of players that remain after the big guys go, and teams like the Twins are like, okay, we'll take him, we'll take him, we'll take him. The Twins are kicking the crap out of some of the powers, because a team like the Yankees, as awesome as they are, like if you look at the Yankees and you look back at deals they made, is Stanton really a good deal? With
Not
all the
financially.
depth, right? With all the depth they have in the organization, it's like, why would you pay that guy who's off injured and you've got all this hitting depth?
That's what I was going to say. He's always injured.
And that's a problem.
It definitely is.
Yeah, I mean,
was so big on not having Zion Williams as the first choice. I figured he would always be, not to switch sports here, but I figured he would always be injured. And look how he started his season. It makes a big difference.
Yep, but
I
he's on a rookie contract, so he's not making $50 million a year yet to pull a hammy and pull fat. So he's got to get in better shape. Allie, I know you wanted to get into the NL Central. You have the numbers in front of you?
I think I do. Yeah, so I've kind of become I work for the Aviators. One of my stat people is a huge Joe. Hi, Joe, is a huge Chicago Cubs fan. The official scorekeeper is a Cincinnati Reds fan. My parents are both from Pittsburgh. And then I have a lot of betting friends who are huge on the Cardinals. And this is just an absolutely wide open division right now. Just to make the playoffs, we've got the Reds at a -105 favorite. The Cubs are even. Who's next? Brewers are +135, Cards +160, and Pirates +450. I thought those were some really awesome numbers. There's a lot of value there. There's hedgeable stuff. What do you think about the NL Central, Dave?
Dave, let's do it this way, Dave. Let's go team by team from the bottom. Is there any value on the Pirates at +450?
No.
Why not?
They suck.
Well,
They're a bad team, and they've got injury. They've got injury issues in their pitching staff. I guess their two best guys aren't going to be pitching. So yeah, you got Joe Musgrove as your ace.
nightmare.
That's not good.
Yeah, they still haven't even finalized their opening day roster, and it's like 3 days away. You guys got to sort it out.
I think the Pirates don't care anyway. They just don't. I mean, it's clear the Pirates are among those 2 or 3 teams. Maybe it's a little longer list who they really don't care at all about winning. They just want to turn a profit.
Yeah, well, get that check.
I think most casual fans would be surprised to see the Cards as the 4th choice. I mean, the odds are really close. Cardinals at 160. There's nothing there?
Well, they lost a couple of guys who've moved on. I'm not sold on the pitching. Carlos Martinez is going back in the rotation. I don't think that's going to work out. I think Miles Michaelis was kind of an outlier 2 years ago, and you got more of what you got out of Miles Michaelis last year. There's going to be an awful lot of responsibility on Flaherty, who's a terrific young pitcher, but he is going to have to be aces for this team to win in a very tough division. The good news for the Cardinals is if they're a 4th-place team, they're a really good 4th-place team, and they'll have all these NL Central teams have the advantage of playing the AL Central, which looks like a pretty weak division.
Right. Yeah, I like the Cards a lot. I have for the past 2 seasons. I've been following them, and Jack Flaherty is good. Most of their pitching staff is decent, but they're all just getting old. They're all in early to mid 30s. I think Wainwright's 38 now. I mean, they're getting up there. What was I going to say? And Paul Goldschmidt has always been one of my favorites. He's getting up there too, but they did get Dexter Fowler from the Rockies, so I'm really excited to see how he's going to play into their team.
I don't know. Fowler's kind of he's just a guy to me. I mean, he'll probably hit
Fowler.
Well, I don't dislike him, but he's a 260 guy. He doesn't cover as much ground in the outfield as he did earlier in his career. I would grade him as a below average right fielder by Major League standards.
Maybe I just have a thing for him. He's a Rocky. Sometimes I just like players because I like the player. I don't know what to say. Dexter's one of those dudes.
Well,
gotta bet with your head, not your heart.
Well, I'm not betting on him. I'm just curious to see how he does in St. Louis.
He's the smartest guy in the room in all likelihood, being an Ivy Leaguer. Fair
enough. Where'd he go?
I think he's a Dartmouth guy, if I'm not mistaken.
All right.
I could be wrong on that, but somebody can look it up. CJ Cards fan says Martinez has dominated in spring training.
Yeah.
It's spring training.
I read that too.
He's also the type of guy. Is he going to be Is he in it for the long haul? Is he durable enough?
No.
To be a starter again? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I think I would prefer him in the bullpen, but I'm not the manager.
I think the Cards are a pretty good veteran team, but it's just going to come down to how they actually play on the field.
Oh, it's a good division.
I don't think there is, it's not a huge difference, but I just don't think they're as good as the other three teams in the division. And I'm also not all that enamored with the Cubs. I think their bullpen is going to be a big problem. And one thing we do know, or at least we can surmise going in, is that bullpens are going to play a huge role in this shortened season. The starting pitching, these guys are not going to be. I think the over and under on complete games was like 1.5. So these guys aren't going to be going 9 innings, and I think the the Cubs could have some real bullpen issues. So I've got them third in the division.
What do you think of Kyle Hendricks getting his first start?
I like Hendricks. He's not a true number one starter, though.
Yeah, I like him.
And the rest of the staff, I mean, there's some age there. Can Darvish pitch like he did in the second half last year? He was fantastic, but I don't know. Arrieta.
I'm over Darvish. I fade Darvish. I fade the crap out of him. I fade him like I fade Tanaka.
Well, he was great in the second half last year. And then, John Lester's Lester will find a way to get it done, but he's not the pitcher he used to be.
Yeah, not at all.
Did you
I
mention
love the spirit of the Cubs.
Tom is already hurt, Dave?
Yep. What was a kitchen knife accident or something?
Kitchen knife, yep, sliced a finger.
No, I thought it was a wine stem, a stem of a wine glass. Got his thumb.
We'll check on that.
Jose Quintana cuts left thumb wine glass the day before joining.
Nice job. And then the rest of the rotation is, a guy like Tyler Chatwood who's got stuff, but again, although you know what,
I like Craig Kimbrell.
On Chatwood, those are the kind of guys who may actually excel in this kind of season because they're never going to be asked to pitch 6 or 7 innings. So if that dude is going like 4 innings, if you got a lot of – because the other team in the division, and I know we talked about this a couple weeks ago, I am fascinated by the Brewers because when you look at their starting rotation, you're like, what is this? But then as you said to the point on the bullpen, Dave, they literally have like every single guy in their overall pitching staff really is a reliever. Like none of them are going to blow you away with 7 innings when they go out there. So they've essentially got mostly hard throwers who are all bullpen guys.
Yep. Their team is probably going to be looking to get maybe 2 times through the order with their starting pitcher and then hand it off to a really deep bullpen. And I like it. I think it's an excellent organization. I like the team, and I think they're going to benefit a lot from the DH. I know I mentioned this before, but Ryan Braun, who is constantly hurt, probably won't get hurt now because they'll DH most of the time, and now they can DH Yelich a couple of times a week, which is going to save wear and tear on him. I think they're pretty good. Craig Counsell's an excellent manager. I think they're going to win the division. I'm higher on them than the Reds, but I can see the excitement about Cincinnati. We'll just see if they can pitch.
Well, there's been a lot of hype with the Brewers and Corbin Burns. He's been sent down to the minors like 3 times, and then he went through the team's pitching lab in Phoenix, and he went through like mental skills classes, and they said that he has just built himself all the way back up, and he should be their ace this season.
Well, he's got great stuff, but he also has had a mentality that he tries to strike out everybody. And
that could be a problem.
And he got into some real bad trouble with big innings last year. So
that's what they were saying. He kind of like ruined his own self and ruined his own brain, and then just couldn't get out of it. And so they've rehabilitated him. I read that last week he went 12 up, 12 down. His fastball's 98 miles an hour. I mean, dude seems like he's serious. It'll be interesting to see if he is.
Well, I mean, he's getting more mature. Yeah. And hopefully he can handle it mentally, because I do think it was a mental issue with him last year. He's got really good stuff.
Yeah. I love a good comeback story.
Let's talk home runs. Allie did a really good rundown tonight, so we're gonna go down a rundown here. We'll talk about betting on the home run leader for all of baseball. But what do you think, Dave? Will there be any artificial suppressing of the home runs, or because people are pissed off, baseball has another one of those opportunities where they're like, let's fix things by making people happy, and let's put in some element where there's lots of home runs. Do you think there's going to be just freaking jacks all over the place because they're like, hey, we got to get the fans back with home runs?
I saw Bryce Harper hit a ball that I'm not even sure he barreled it. He got tremendous loft on it, and it went 430 feet. So you might see a lot of home runs. Okay, I think that's what baseball believes, that offense sells games, or offense sells. Well, I can't say tickets, but offense sells ratings.
Yeah,
and I can't disagree with that, because you just go back to the late '90s and that amazing year with Sosa and McGuire. I mean, everybody was watching every night. So I don't like it as a baseball purist, but I'm not the one who's in charge, and it's a good thing, because baseball probably wouldn't be doing the revenue they do if I were in charge. Although I would fix the blackout rule, which is stupid.
Really?
I love the extra inning rule. That's what's up. I work for aviators, so I love the extra inning rule. We should have made that happen forever ago.
What do you think, Dave?
I like it and I don't like it. I think it's gimmicky, but I also I realize that people don't like sitting through 15-inning games. They just don't.
Yeah,
you do.
No.
I do. Yeah, for me. I mean,
I can't tell you how many times I came in with Dave, and Dave's like, "Did you see the game last night? There was 22 innings." He was like freaking off the walls. He's like, "I watched the whole thing. It's great."
Yeah.
Oh God.
It happened a lot with the Padres, because it didn't matter how many innings they played, they couldn't score. So you'd have these 16, 17-inning games, and I enjoyed them, but I know most fans don't like that stuff.
Yeah, I'll watch 20 innings of baseball if we're back and forth the whole time and loading up bases. But when it's the 15th inning and it's 1-1, like, come on, I want off of work already. Like, let's go. Cash my ticket, or I don't know what. I'm done here.
It depends on your level of fandom, I guess. I mean, I watch exhibition games, and not to learn anything in particular. I just like watching baseball.
Right. Yeah, I can't get into the Korean baseball thing either. Apparently I don't like to watch baseball that much.
Baseball's baseball. I mean, I obviously am not doing it right now, but I've had days where I've come home when I was doing the 2 to 3 p.m. show. I'd come home and think, oh, there's a ball game going on over at Durango. Take a drive over and watch a few innings. So
you might have seen me umpire before. I umpire high school baseball in town.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Really?
I'm actually the first girl to do a full season with the Southern Nevada Officials Association. Adam Candy's who got me hooked up with all that. Originally for basketball, but it was baseball season. Anyway,
so here's have you thrown anybody out of a game?
No, but on my first day, I set on Facebook. I was like, okay, the total is 5. Over or under how many people I eject during this season. And it was 0. So you would have cashed the under there. Apparently there's a lot of paperwork involved when you throw somebody out.
Really?
So,
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. You got to fill out reports and everything. And then
part-time job. Get out of here.
Through my aviators job, I met Chris Jones, who's the minor league baseball umpire, like supervisor, and I got invited to an all-girls umpire school to get promoted into the minor leagues, which was at a College Station at Texas A&M, and so that was super cool. It was all exhibition, show-off players, and we got to call the game. It was all girls on the field. You should have seen their faces when 5 girls walked out there to be umpires. It was pretty impressive.
Adam Hill responds by saying girls can't ump, too emotional.
Oh my God. I'll knock you right out.
I never knew. I never knew Angel Hernandez was a girl.
What?
Wow.
He gets pretty emotional on the field.
Inside baseball, yeah.
True inside. Well, he does. I mean, Angel Hernandez is the most he's the most confrontational umpire I think I've ever seen. Yep. He literally starts beefs with players.
It happens. It's one of those things where, like, you're just so used to everybody being angry at you that sometimes defensiveness is the best way to go about it.
So I have a question. Do you think that because you're an attractive girl, the guys, especially the coaches, are less likely to get in your face.
Hell no. I don't even want to mention names, but there are certain schools where like their head coach is my freaking rival. Like they get right up in my face. They don't think I know anything because I'm a girl. And then like when you're a first base umpire, how you have to bend and like get in your position, your set position, you'll hear this bullpen or this dugout saying like, oh, I hope the right fielder doesn't miss the ball because he's staring at her butt or something. It's just all that kind of, you hear all the chatter and you just kind of zone it out and you're like, I'm the boss, applesauce. At the end of the day, I'm the boss here. You're not. I don't care how long you've been in baseball. You can
don't get emotional. Everyone's trying to trigger you right now. So Adam's like, see, she got emotional about the comment. Be careful.
I am passionate, not emotional. Okay.
All right. I stand corrected. I feel like I got beaten down there.
I'm passionate.
Home run odds. So some of the favorites are Mike Trout 9-1, Alonso 10-1, Yelich 10-1, Bellinger 14. Dave, you like any of those? And we keep getting questions about the Aquino kid who came up and hit 20-plus bombs last year. It seemed like it was Kevin Moss all over again, right? Remember Kevin Moss?
Yeah, and he might be the next Kevin Moss because that guy's got a really big swing, and he's got some holes in it. And I think pitchers are going to figure him out. They had already started to figure him out in September last year, and he was swinging and missing a lot. What's Aaron Judge?
Let me look down the list here. Someone probably has it on the chat.
I got it.
You got it?
Uno momento. I should have it.
I have 20-1.
That guy's going to hit a shitload of home runs. That lineup is ridiculous.
What do you have now, Allie?
I got him at plus 1,600.
So 16-1, yeah. I figured it went down. These odds are a little bit old. It's when my boy Joey Gallo was the favorite.
I think, with Judge, I think the reason he's probably a little high, as far as the odds are concerned, I'm not talking about his state of mind, probably because he might be given days off if necessary because he is injury prone.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I can kind of understand that. Bellinger is a monster. Trout is Trout. He's one of the best players. He's right there with the best players I've ever seen.
I can't stand him. I wouldn't put him out if he was on fire. He's so vanilla and boring. He's like a Ken doll, and I don't know. I can't stand him. I think Shohei Ohtani is the best player on that team. CC Sabathia says he's the best player he's ever seen play, ever.
Well, Ohtani's because he's a two-way player. He can pitch. He can throw 100 miles an hour. He can hit. No, I like Ohtani, but Trout is a generational talent.
Yeah. Pass. If you say,
how do we bet Trout this year, Dave?
I think he's going to have a phenomenal season with Rendon hitting once he gets healthy. He's going to miss the first few games, but that's some real protection for him. And love the fact that Joe Madden is keeping him in the 2-hole, which I think is exactly where he belongs. I think he's slowing down a bit on the bases because he is kind of a big dude. I would look for the stolen bases to drop. I don't think he'll be double figures in stolen bases anymore. I think we've seen the last of that.
Well, and one of our friends here mentioned he is going to be leaving for paternity leave. So if you're betting on him to be the leader in home runs, you've got to remember also that he's not going to play all the games that he's slated to, or that everyone else will. But good luck on the baby.
He'll miss 2 or 3 games.
That's 2 or 3 homers.
Oh, yeah. You got to factor that in a short season. You actually do have to factor that in. Because a guy like Yelich is liable to play. He could play all 60 games with the DH, and Trout's probably going to miss, a small handful at least with the baby, and just maybe an occasional day off. Because I don't think they'll DH Trout, although I could be dead wrong on that.
Couple of comments from earlier. Sports Guy 06 says, "Can Ohtani hit? He runs into a home run every now and then. He's got 40.
He hits that ball at 900 feet, man. He's a beast. He throws at 99 miles an hour. He's insane.
His career slugging is like 530, so he's got 40 homers and about 780 at bats. Ryan Carl Allie was saying that CC Sabathia said that Ohtani is the most skilled guy he's ever seen.
I stand by it.
Yeah, she didn't say that CC is the best player she's ever seen. So,
well, I mean, from a standpoint of the fact that he could
fade Sabathia. Don't be silly.
well, got to fade him now. Big fella's done.
Ohtani's stuff is insane. I mean, he can throw the ball 100 miles an hour, and he's got a splitter that is just ridiculous. I think he's going to be a better pitcher than hitter.
I disagree. I actually think they should stop wasting time with the pitching. I wouldn't risk any more arm injuries. I think he's a 35-40 homer guy every year, and I would just let him hit. But I understand, when he pitches, he can be potentially awesome. I just worry about another long-term injury or another serious injury.
Ouch.
I like the big fly.
Yeah. So do I, but in the Angels roster, they really need somebody who can go out there once a week and be a shutdown guy. And he looks like the guy.
Angels fan JBT says he should never pitch again. We'll see. If he gets through a full season. Well, we're not going to find out this year, but hey, maybe he gets through a full season next year, and the guy's got, he's a 20-game winner with a 2.5 ERA and 200.
That'll never happen because they're only going to pitch him on Sundays. Yeah. He's going to pitch every Sunday, so once a week, and he'll DH probably 4 games a week. And that's not a guy I want to face on Sunday.
Dave, let me move on to the NBA, and I know JVT's in the chat, so John, actually, if you want, I could send you an invite. You can jump in, but in the meantime, you can just answer these. You guys think any team will go 8-0 in the NBA before the playoffs? 8-0. You get yes at plus 400.
I'll say no.
But would you lay 700? Probably not.
No, God, no.
I don't know. I wouldn't lay 700, but it's almost like I'm going to say no. I definitely think it could happen. I just don't think it's going to. I guess that's what it comes down to.
For me to lay a price like that, it's got to be somewhere in the neighborhood of Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus McGregor, which I would have laid 25-1 on that.
No, I mean, I wouldn't lay that price, but I'm thinking, would I gamble on the plus 400? I wasn't thinking about laying the -7. I was just thinking, would I gamble with the plus 4? It could be done, but things are just so unpredictable right now. Like,
well, here's the problem in the NBA. The NBA is so focused on load management. There's a really good chance nobody's going to play 8 games in a row. LeBron will get a day off, or Kawhi will get a day off. Right. Or the Greek Freak will get a day off. I mean, that's just the pattern of the NBA, which has become clear over the last few years, is they want to make sure guys stay healthy, and they want to give them time off. And, those are games where in basketball, you take a guy like that off the roster for a game, they're probably going to lose.
Right.
By the way, Dave, we skipped ahead. We do need a pick for the baseball champion. Who is it going to be?
I hate saying this, but the Yankees are just, my God, that roster, and now they've got this kid Montgomery, who's just been blowing hitters away. They're incredibly deep, and look, stop and consider this: what they win last year, they won around 100 games, and they missed. They basically never had a full lineup the entire season. I mean, the man games lost to injury last year were incredible. I mean, I as a fan, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't see anybody beating them. The Dodgers are outstanding team, but I think the pitching on the Yankees is probably going to be stronger in the playoffs, and I'd have to go with the Yankees.
All right. The Dodgers are super deep also, but it seems like the consensus everywhere is it's going to be Dodgers or Yankees. But remember at the beginning of last year when Giancarlo Stanton was out and Judge was out, and it was still the Yankees -200, and if you were paying any amount of attention, it was like Christmas for a week at the beginning of baseball season when no one had figured out that the Yankees suck, and you could just drill that plus money every chance you got. It's
I don't think that's happening anymore. They added Garrett Cole. I mean, how do you're already a really good team, and you add Garrett Cole. Holy crap!
One of my Astros, yeah.
And I think
Astros.
That to me is the difference: the subtraction from the Astros and the addition of that player to the Yankees
makes a huge difference.
Oh, I mean, Cole's become the most dominant pitcher. Yeah, I think he's the most dominant pitcher in baseball now.
Oh, I love that guy. He has like a certain aura about him. Like he really feels like he's in control. Like I trust him when he's on the mound. Like he might make a mistake, but I feel like, okay, he analyzed that and he's going to fix it now. And he's just amazing to watch him play.
I hate him now.
I like the Dodgers. That's chalk. I like the Dodgers.
I like the Dodgers better than the Yankees also.
The one thing I'm convinced of, and I'm really convinced of this, if I'm wrong, we'll find out. I think the chalk is the way to go in a really short season, and I think it's going to play out that way from a betting pattern as well. In a 162-game season, you'll find, teams won the first 2 games of a series. They might mail it in, give some guys the day off in the final game of the series. I don't think you're going to see that in a 60-game series where the approach is going to be, we can't afford to lose any games. Right. So teams like the Yankees and teams like the Astros and teams like the Dodgers are going to be bringing it almost every night. And I'm not going to be going against those teams. I don't know that I'll be playing on them because the prices are going to be insane. But you're not going to see me lining up against them.
And I saw someone criticizing Connors criticizing the Dodgers with no pen. The difference this year is, first of all, their organizational depth in general is ridiculous. And Dave mentioned the other team that's super impressive, and that's the Brewers. The Dodgers did add Blake Trinan, right? Yeah. And we'll see what they get out of Gratterall. I think Dustin May is a tremendous option in the bullpen. And then come postseason, they're just going to mix and match. As long as Kershaw is close to what he is, I think Buehler's ready to be big-time ace. Like I described the Brewers earlier, what the Dodgers will have is a dominant 1 and 2. The Brewers don't even have that. Dodgers will have a dominant 1 and 2, and then 9-10 options. Yeah, 9 options in front of Jansen. So that's why I like the Dodgers. I also think the Dodgers during the regular season are just going to smoke. They're going to crush the league in terms of total wins. Oh. And by the way, we didn't even mention right now, Lux is not even on the roster.
I know.
Is that I get to add him later?
Gavin Lux didn't make the 30-man roster. He's the best player in a couple of teams in the majors.
Dave, they wanted to dump Jock Peterson, who I know he's got limitations against lefties, but like the guy came on last year. They're like, we're just going to get rid of him for a cup of coffee. It doesn't work out. I guess we'll have to take Jock back. We'll do it, I guess.
They're just so strong.
Give me a team in the 13 to 25 range that could do it. Atlanta, Minnesota, Tampa Bay, the Nationals, the Mets. The Mets trustworthy at 20-1. Cubs, Philly, St. Louis 22-1, and then believe it or not, the White Sox, Cincy.
Yeah, the White Sox are getting over that.
And Oakland 25-1.
Yeah, Oakland's dangerous.
I love
Oakland.
Pitching. I love Oakland. They've got so many of the Las Vegas Aviators. It's like my new home team now that I'm shunned because I'm an Astro. I might just divert to the Athletics because I work for them. They're so stacked.
They did take a little bit of a hit. AJ Puck, who was supposed to be in the rotation, has got a shoulder issue, and they've flown him to L.A. That's a little bit of a hit. But, look, they've got one of the best pitching prospects in baseball, and he actually wasn't slated to make the rotation. I think he's getting bumped in now. Now they're good, and Billy Beane is still a master, and there is still a trading deadline. And what we've seen from Beane in years where Oakland has a chance to contend, and I would think this is one of those years, they actually go out and add pieces at the deadline. They're not expensive pieces, but they will go out there and take a rental. And I think he will do that again this season because it's hard to see Oakland not contending at least for a playoff spot.
They're a fun team. They remind me of like a ragtag bunch of misfits that, they're tough. I like Oakland a lot.
No,
Yeah, Dave.
They get overlooked too. I mean, they don't get much attention. That third baseman is absolutely great. Their first baseman, Olsen. I mean, he's come on. They're just good. Bean's a genius. I mean, they play in a garbage stadium. Nobody shows up at the games. The organization legitimately is the ultimate small market organization in baseball, along with Tampa. And he finds a way to keep them more than competitive on a regular basis. He's just great.
Ryan Carl Hill has Atlanta, but keep in mind Atlanta is 13-1. Is there a downside in Atlanta, Dave?
Back of the rotation. Don't like Fultonevich. Got to keep Soroka healthy.
Yep. Sean Newcomb, can he actually do it?
Do you think Puig is going to join?
To do it? Say it again, Allie.
Do you think Puig's going to join?
Well, he's got COVID. We'll have to see.
I know that
he's not a difference maker.
His contract is on hold for now. Do you think that I was like so excited that might?
He'll be around. I would assume he'll be around for 35 games. Go ahead, Dave.
He doesn't mean anything. He's just a guy.
I like him.
Well, you can like him all you want. He's a 260 hitter and he's a minus outfielder.
Yeah, but in the postseason, he was hitting home runs like he was hitting the ball like his family was locked in a basement somewhere.
When was that?
They weren't going to get out he hit the ball.
How long ago was it? So it's been a while.
I remember that being last year. Do I have like the total wrong guy? Yes. No, I don't. Yes. I don't believe I do.
Yes. You do.
I do. I don't think I do.
Yes.
He'll get signed because they need some help in right field. Markakis taking the 2 months off, but no, Puig's. I'm not a big Puig fan. I think he's entertaining, but I think he's just a really average major leaguer, and I don't think he's a starting outfielder.
Howard says White Sox over 31.5. I'll pass. Dave?
Yeah, I think everybody's a little ahead of the putting the cart. I think they're getting close. I mean, their offense is really good, but I don't know about that pitching. You got Giolito, you got
Keuchel, Ronaldo Lopez, who can't get out of his own way.
Yeah, it's you got one.
And the shame of it is, if they could ever get Carlos Rodon healthy, I mean, he's just been a disappointment because he cannot get freaking healthy.
Yeah, and his command is just isn't there. He's never been able to command his stuff. He's a guy who's just not going to live up to billing. So they've got. I don't know that Keuchel's an actual number 2 starter at this point. I think he's clearly a decent guy to have in your rotation, but you like him more in the 3 or 4 spot. Giolito's fantastic, but Giolito's going to have to be great for them to have a shot to get a wild card. I don't think they can beat the Twins.
Big Daddy Aviator says, shout out, or thanks for the shout out from Allie. Dave, what were your thoughts on Mateo getting dumped by the A's organization?
Well, he's pretty clearly a big-time head case.
Is he? I didn't know that.
Oh, he's a
baseball player.
He's had some problems, really on an annual basis with behavioral issues, and I think he's become a guy that it's kind of a hands-off guy now. You just don't want him around. I think I don't know it for a fact, but I think he's a guy that a lot of the players would rather not have in the clubhouse.
Does Girardi in with the Phillies matter? Jay Rogan says, worth a shot, upgraded manager.
Well, I do think he's an upgrade, but I just don't know. I just don't know that the team's good enough. They're in a very tough division. If you took Philly and put them in the AL Central, then they're probably battling the Twins to win the division. But they're in a nasty division because Atlanta's good, Washington's good, the Mets could be really good. I think the Mets are the toughest team in baseball to figure out because they could be really good or they could be fall on their face. I tend to think they might be pretty good. So I just don't see the Phillies. It's still. I said this last year, and I'm still of that belief. It's kind of a clunky roster. There's a lot of good players there, but I'm not sure that the pieces really mesh.
Brady was mentioning the Twins. That's my dark horse team. So they're 16-1. I gotta get someone to step up as a reliable, legit 2. Is it Kenta Maeda? Can Rich? My God, if Rich Hill was just available for the playoffs, I'll be good with that. Odorizzi has a shot. I like their depth, and obviously they can rake. They're going to hit so many friggin' home runs.
And I like their bullpen.
Yep. And I love their – again, it's another bullpen that it's not top-heavy with 1 or 2 guys. They've got depth. So I think the Twins are really dangerous at 16-1 as a longer shot.
And Baldelli, another Rhode Islander. I knew his dad. He did a great job last year. The problem with the Twins is at some point – they'll probably have to face the Yankees, and they just never beat the Yankees. It's the most lopsided rivalry there is, I think. And it's in their head. It's got to be in their heads. It's like, oh, shit, we got to face these guys again. But I think the Twins are legit. Boy, they really can rake.
I read an article today that was saying that this would be the first year that they've made the postseason and forever and whatnot. So the Twins. So it's going around.
Well, they won the division in a breeze last year.
Oh, something about maybe I'm just too tired and all my information is just a little bit off today.
Last one on baseball. The Padres are a dark horse. Do you? See, I think the Padres are another team people are getting too fired up about too early.
I think they're going to finish second in that division. I like them a little more than the Diamondbacks. And it's the arms. They've got a bunch of arms. And, look, Petco, I know Petco is a little more hitter-friendly than it used to be. But it's still a pitcher's park, and they've got pitching. This guy, Paddock, boy, has he got a chance to be good. I mean, his stuff is nasty, and I think he's ready to become a number 1 starter.
All right, I'm going to throw out a wild card to bring us down the stretch here. Just a random thought. Tell me if I'm crazy. So news is out there that the T-Wolves are going to be up for sale. Right? NBA.
Yeah. Yep.
The buzz, of course, from people in Vegas is up. Here we go. Okay. Maybe they come to Vegas. Where's the obvious location? If someone buys them, where's the obvious location that should get an NBA team if they decide to move it out of Minneapolis? I think it's Seattle.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
They deserve a team. They should have never lost a team.
Yeah.
If Bezos can spend money to name the arena there, I mean, he's making, I don't know what he's making every day, $5 billion a day. Like his value increases. This would be nothing for him. Now, here's the thing. Will the NBA allow a team to move, or is the NBA going to look at it like, hey, we can get whatever, $900 million over $1 billion in, probably a little high, but in franchise fees? Will they let him move, or will they try to expand to Seattle down the road?
I think they would let them move if there's a replacement for them in Minnesota, and that could be somebody like there's a couple of franchises in the league that are not, they're kind of drags, and I don't know that they would be averse to one of those franchises moving. So Minnesota would pick up that team. It's kind of It's kind of like the Tampa Bay situation in baseball. If they could get out of that lease, MLB would have no problem whatsoever with the Rays just saying, goodbye, see you later, we're going to Montreal or Charlotte. But I don't think the NBA wants to lose the Minneapolis market. I mean, that is a monster market. And they're a top 10. They're a top 10 market, right?
Here's my wild card thought on that. If you're the NBA, do you want to be in cities that actually match the mission of the league? What if the NBA came out publicly and they're like, we're not happy with what happened in Minneapolis.
Okay. I didn't think of that.
George Floyd is dead. We don't want a team there.
I didn't think of that.
I don't think a league would ever take a stance like that, but it would be amazing if Adam Silver especially. But if Adam Silver came out and he's like, you know what? We don't want a team in Minneapolis.
I don't think they'd take that. They wouldn't take the stance publicly, because that would create a lot of ill will. But behind closed doors, yeah, I could see that.
Ill will where? Minneapolis or with the fan base?
Ill will with some of the fan base, let's say.
Okay.
Although I don't think it's the majority of the fan base.
Right. Right. What are they going to make old white guys all mad? Those who don't watch the NBA anyway?
Oh, I mean, who are these people that this cracks me up? I'm boycotting baseball because some players of the Giants took a knee. It's like, first of all, you're not hurting the game at all, okay? Because nobody gives a shit about one person. Secondly, who are you denying? It's like if you, we're going to boycott the NFL because some guys are kneeling. If you like the NFL, I'm taking both sides of this because I'll use the Goya beans as an example. Now, I don't like beans. I don't like beans, period. So I don't matter. But if you like Goya beans, if you think, boy, this is a good product, I really enjoy these. So you're going to deny yourself because the owner of the company happens to like Trump? That's stupid. Okay? Don't punish yourself when you don't have any impact in doing so. And all you're doing is screwing yourself. So it's logically illogical.
I just had that same situation in my house. I bought a MyPillow because I have a shoulder issue, and I was really excited about the MyPillow and the patented fill and all these things. And I got one for my boyfriend too, and he's like, the guy that makes those is a huge Trump supporter and big Republican. I was like, you know what? Buzzard's got to eat, same as the worm.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I don't know much about the product except I see the ads on TV.
It's fantastic. I totally promote it.
If it's a good pillow and it helps you sleep better, who cares whether the guy likes Trump or Biden or whoever? It doesn't matter.
His pillow too. Don't get me wrong. He loves his pillow too. It's a great product, but yeah, I see your point. Who are you really hurting here?
I am not changing anything in my lifestyle because I don't like or I do like a politician. Not a chance. I'm way too selfish for that.
Some comments earlier on the Wolves. Like Alex B. Smith was saying, Taylor's not going to sell to anyone that's looking to move it. Again, that would have to be an NBA move behind the scenes. I saw a report earlier that Ziggy Wolf, who owns the Vikings, may be the leader already to buy the team, so he's not going to move it. Ryan Carl Hill, money trumps causes. So what does that mean? If what if Bezos was like, I'll give you $2 billion for the team, and you know what? Every year for the next 20 years, I'll contribute another $2 billion. Tell China to fuck off. Do that for me. No, I don't think Bezos would do that. I'm sure he's got ties to China as well, right? Getting all his products, but that would be interesting. Because if money trumps causes, Bezos can do whatever he wants. Do we realize? Think about the impact he could have on the sports world if he's just like, you know what, I want in every sport, and you know what, in baseball, I want in baseball, and whatever team I bought, like, wouldn't it be amazing if Bezos bought a team? He's like, I'm going to buy the Pirates. Our payroll is $500 million. Let's go.
I don't think Pirate fans would mind that a bit.
Yeah, no.
They might pass out from shock, but no, I'd love to see that. I want to see teams spend money and be as good as they can be. I can't stand these organizations that are clearly only in this to make money, and the Pirates are really at the head of that list. I mean, is there an organization that has given less of a shit about winning than the Pittsburgh Pirates? They trade away all their prospects. They just, that's it. We don't care how good you are. Bye.
I feel that way about the Rays. Like, Eovaldi was one of my faves. There was the other Hap. I love freaking Hap. He went to the Yankees. Eovaldi went to the Red Sox. Like, every time the Rays get anyone that's any good, they trade him right off.
Well, but there's one difference is
still there.
The Rays actually are one of the two franchises who can make the financial excuse because they have no fan base. They play in an awful stadium. I've been there, and I was there when it was new, and it's like, wow, this place is lousy. And they need to get out of Tampa. It's just not a good sports area. No offense to anybody from Florida, but it's a lousy pro sports state. It always has been. Even the Dolphins don't sell out when they're lousy, and that's the NFL. Miami of Florida, with this great history, you can always get a good seat to a Miami Hurricanes game. And that goes back to their heyday. You could always get a good seat. If you wanted to travel to Miami to see the Canes play, you didn't have to worry about getting shut out at the gate. It's not a good It's just not a good live sports town.
Fair enough.
And that's just the way it is.
And they have so many teams, the Magic and the Heat and the Canes. I mean, there's so many teams there. It's unfortunate.
Well, the NBA would be the exception. The Heat are a good franchise, and the Magic are too. But the NBA, I think it's just a different ballgame. The Florida Panthers are a train wreck. Nobody goes to their games. And the baseball's a joke.
I used to love the Magic when it was Shaq and Penny Hardaway. They were a really fun team.
Oh, they were good.
Yeah, but baseball in Florida is no good.
Allie, when is Picks and Parlays back? When are you on it?
Tomorrow. We start tomorrow filming our videos that'll be on YouTube at the Picks and Parlays channel. Super excited. I'll be on Wednesdays, Fridays, Sundays, and it should be a whole lot of fun giving out free picks, introducing y'all to some of our new handicappers at picksandparlays.net. So I'm stoked. Tomorrow it all begins. Dave,
what do you got coming up?
I have to adjust my sleep hours because I've been staying up to watch KBO on a nightly basis, and that's going to end. I'm still going to handicap the league, but because there's money to be made there. But I will not be watching the games in the middle of the night. I don't know. My stuff stays the same. I've been doing the same thing for so long. Get up, cap the games, bet them, give them out, and then wait for the results. And I guess the only thing that'll change now is I'll do more ranting about stupid managerial decisions than I've been doing. Although I've been getting on the LG Twins manager on a regular basis. He's terrible. That's in KBO. He actually makes some big league managers look good. And I'm really geared up, by the way, for mishandling of the 3-pitcher minimum. This is going to be fun because there are going to be some managers who completely screw this up, and I'm going to try and take advantage of that.
Allie, all right? What happened to all the lights? People getting worried for you.
I think my child just got some food and cruised behind me.
Hey, where's all the cats?
The cat. Oh, I'm at my mom's house. I'm having internet issues at my house, so this is my mom's house.
I know. I was talking to Steve. Are you done?
I thought you were talking about my Facebook.
The other guy on the show.
Are you? What happened? Are all the foster creatures gone?
Yeah, they were really little kittens. We took care of them for like 5 weeks, so they got adopted out.
Good.
Friday, and we have 3 inside adult cats. 1 did not like the kittens, so we're going to take a break for about a month so that she settles down. She's getting a little froggy. We don't want to torture the older cats, but I'm sure we'll have some more fosters here in like probably a month or so.
Good karma is coming your way for doing stuff like that.
Finally, I do something nice. A whole lifetime of being a prick, right? David, one more time, I was asking you actually not only what you're doing personally, but what's going on with Wager Talk.
Oh yeah, okay. This is a big time saver for me because I've been on so many websites for so long, and Wager Talk made me an offer to go exclusive with them, and I took it, which at 67 was a no-brainer. So now I'm basically all on one site, which is wagertalk.com. But I'm doing a lot of stuff there, videos every day, covering a variety of sports, and it should be fun. I think it was a really good business decision on my part, and I appreciate them making the offer to me.
All right, good deal. Allie, good job tonight. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, sounds good.
All right, thank you. Dave, appreciate it. Dave will be on soon as well. Tomorrow we're back with Petro. And remember, Wednesdays we start early. We start at 9 o'clock local time, so Petro, and we'll have some special guests along with Petro. And yes, Adam Hill. Thanks to meetupvegas.com for supporting Cofield and Company and everything we do. I also wanted to mention real quick, please frequent your local joints like bars. I had a really good time over the weekend at Banger Brewing downtown. Like, it's really hard now for bars, especially if they don't serve food. They kind of have to finagle it. And those guys down there are awesome. And that's a small brewing company. It's right there on Fremont by Neonopolis. And we went down there on Saturday. They were really good. I mean, safe, the table separated.
Good.
servers all over the place, everyone all masked up until you sat down. Totally awesome. Totally awesome.
Yeah, it really sucked for all the bars around town that were doing their absolute best to follow the rules, and they got penalized by the places that were following the rules. That's not right. There should have been, I'm sorry, but there should have been more checks done to see, and it doesn't take that much work. You could have gone to every bar in town to see which ones were obeying and which ones were not, and close the ones down that weren't obeying and keep the ones open that were. I mean, guys like Chris Palmieri, who we know, doing everything right. That's not a business that should be shut down. They shouldn't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
And people are reminding me, Meetup Vegas, code word Cofield. We got the competition going on with the comp and the point DJs and also JT the Brick. So we want to sell a lot of meat at meetupvegas.com on the Cofield and Company side. So use the code word Cofield. All right, guys. We'll see you later. Thanks to all the listeners tonight. We're back tomorrow with an extended show with Petro and company. All right?
Cool.
All right.
See you guys.